Tropic Thunder is a 2008 action comedy. I'm going to call it a war parody. It's written by Justin Theroux, Ethan Coen, and Ben Stiller, and directed by Ben Stiller.
It is a starring Ben Stiller, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., and Steve Coogan.
The budget for this movie was $92 million, and box office take of $195.7 million.
The tomato meter was 82% with an audience score of 70%.
So Tropic Thunder is, like I said, it's a parody film. It tells the story of a group of, I would say, diva-like actors that are working on a Vietnam War movie. When they discover that the actors' performances are not really up to what they're looking for, they try an alternative method to get the performances that they're really searching for. Okay, so this movie is, I think it's hilarious. Personally, I think it's hilarious, but I also can completely understand people that think it's stupid and not funny at all. I think, like, we were talking about this right before the episode started. There's a lot of what I would consider like almost divisive comedy. I think it's very similar to stuff like I said right before the episode, the Three Stooges. There are some people that find that type of comedy hilarious, and there are a lot of people that just don't get it at all and think it's the stupidest thing in the world. This, I think I think it's just like that, and there's not a lot of middle ground. You're either going to laugh the entire time or be confused the entire time about how anyone could find this kind of stupidity funny. There's not a lot of middle ground there. So when it comes down to giving it an actual just recommendation, should you watch this? I have to give it a yes. Not only because I personally find this movie funny, but I think the cost of finding out if you like this type of movie in this genre is not that high. You're going to know within the first few minutes of this movie if you're either going to really enjoy it or if you're going to hate it. So I would say, like, I mean, in the way that this movie's set up, you're going to know before the movie begins. During the fake trailers and the fake commercial, you'll know if you're going to like this or not. So I would say just give it a shot.
Yeah, you really give it 15 to 90 seconds and you'll pretty much know, and definitely within the first 3 minutes. Yeah. For me, this movie is actually one of my favorite movies ever. And the thing you said about it being divisive, however you say that, it was. When I saw this for the first time, I was working at Blockbuster then, the video store. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's like Redbox, but there's a store. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's crazy.
And my girlfriend at the time also worked at a Blockbuster down the road. So one of us rented this with our employee account or whatever. And we watched it. It was me, my girlfriend at the time, her sister, and her brother-in-law. And I mentioned this last week. Her brother-in-law and I were like holding each other. We were laughing so hard. And she and her sister thought it was the dumbest thing ever. They just thought that we were the worst people in the world and had the worst sense of humor because we somehow thought that this crap was funny. But I would say that if you take yourself too seriously or you take life too seriously, don't watch this movie because you're not going to like it. But probably if you were in the military or you're a nurse or an ER doc or a paramedic or a firefighter, you're going to get it because you have to not take life too seriously.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's a yes, but with just sort of a maybe not if you fit into a few of these categories. So like if you don't like satire and you don't understand it and you just take everything too seriously, just don't. Like you'll just be offended and upset and whatever. And honestly, they made this movie to offend people like that anyway.
Yeah.
So but if you do watch it and you find yourself being like really, really offended or whatever, not thinking this is dumb and ridiculous, then maybe like reevaluate your perspective on life.
I would say that if you watch it and you find yourself offended, just fuck off.